like all the war memorials that you go to and thinking about all the lives that were lost in the name of freedom and justice, it's very sombering.
We've been all over learning about the Revolutionary War and how our nation began and has continued to grow.
Everything is 10 times bigger than we used to see.
This is my America. This is your America. This is our America.
Everywhere you visit, you're going to see different aspects of different cultures and the mesh of them together.
People came from all over the world to come here.
All kinds of skins, of faces, of whatever.
The experiment is still alive.
We're all united because we're the human race first and foremost.
It's absolutely fabulous. I love all the culture.
You get a mix of cultures, ideas, mindsets.
I think that's the soul of the United States.
The ideals of America, freedom, justice, liberty.
Religious freedoms.
That privilege of just being able to speak your mind, First Amendment.
Freedom to do and say what we want.
There's always hope. There's always hope in America.
America is going to have great prosperity for many, many more decades, centuries.
Mount Vernon is extraordinary because it has the original mansion house and outbuildings of George Washington's estate. He's his own architect, he's his own landscape designer. When you walk around here, you're walking inside his mind's eye. My name is Doug Bradburn. I'm the president and CEO of George Washington's Mount Vernon. We run the most important historic site in the world.
When he takes over this plantation, there's a house here his father had built.
It's been preserved aggressively since 1860. It's the oldest historic site in the country that's been open to the public.
Okay, all right, please follow me in.
Mount Vernon is going to have 1 million visitors in 2026. We're going to have 500,000 of those come as school groups. And when they come to this place, I want them to see themselves as part of an extraordinary story of a people that won their freedoms and have earned their self-governance. They are a part of that. They're part of something bigger than themselves. And they're inspired to bring that energy back to their own lives and their communities to really serve to try to make America the best it can be.
But Washington had the room decorated to celebrate farming.
When you preserve stuff that's original, that people touched, that Washington touched, it just has a power and authenticity.
He walked on these floors.
There's chills you get in your spine when you're walking in George Washington's study, where James Madison and he worked on the Constitution. And I just think for a young mind, particularly, who are so awash in the digital world today, to have the real stuff right there, it creates a tangible connection to a past that sometimes can seem very distant.
Remember, students, twice he voluntarily gave up power to support the ideals of our country. At the end of the war, his officers were telling him he should take over, even become the king. No. He had fought to create a democratic republic governed by its people. So he resigned his commission in the Army and came home as a private citizen.
Civilian control of the military is an American value that goes back to George Washington's Army. So many independence movements of former colonies have ended in military coups. Washington, unlike some of these other revolutionaries, understood that if you allowed the military to take over, then you lose the liberty that you were fighting for. So we were very lucky that he was the one in that moment in time. And if you don't believe that, I mean, it really is, just look at the other revolutions like this. I mean, the English Civil War in the 17th century, which was Washington's own history, Oliver Cromwell wins that war, but then basically declares himself the Lord Protector, gets rid of Parliament for 10 years, rolls to the dictator. Look at the French Revolution. Napoleon wins that revolution, gets himself crowned emperor. You know, you can look at Stalin and the Russian Revolution. I mean, these were generals in the Russian Revolution, declare themselves dictators, purge their generals, led to millions of peoples of debt. Pol Pot is a similar figure. The Castros. There's so many places where these fights for independence and for freedom turn into military dictatorships. It is Washington's choice not to take that road which makes America different. It really comes down to him making a decision not to seize power when there was the opportunity to do so. He created a model for the world of an idea that people could govern themselves without overweening power, that it would be a rule of law and not of men, is what they would say in the 18th century. That it would be, as George Washington called it, a great experiment to see whether they could do this. And when the eyes of the world were on this new experiment, it transformed the aspirations of people all over the world to be a free people. You look at now across the world, all the democratic governments that exist, that begins with the American Revolution. And it hasn't slowed down since then, that aspiration for people to live free, where they can govern themselves without arbitrary power. You know, Washington, in one of his great letters that he wrote at the end of the American Revolutionary War, said, whether or not the American Revolution will be a blessing or a curse, not only just for us, but for future generations, depends on our choices. That's the whole point of having a free nation. We get to decide our future. It's always about the future. And what do we do with the freedom that other people have given us?
Baltimore is a sheltered port. It develops because as you approach the harbor of Baltimore, you have to get past Fort McHenry first. When you look at this, it's kind of a pentagonal fort. There are 5 bastions. If you stand on top of them, you could see from point to point. In terms of this being a military installation, if they can be seen, they can be fired upon. It's really form following function. My name is Shannon McLucas. I'm a park ranger and public information officer here at Fort McHenry National Monument and Historic Shrine in Baltimore, Maryland. When we look at Fort McHenry, we're looking at the War of 1812, the Battle of Baltimore, when the Army and Navy came together to protect the city of Baltimore, which was home to 50,000 residents at the time. She's going to help you guys put up this modern flag. So the parade ground that we're standing on right now is where the original Star-Spangled Banner was hoisted back in 1814. The Star-Spangled Banner is our national anthem. It was written by a young lawyer named Francis Scott Key, who was on a ship. He had negotiated the release of a friend of his. So Key is in a unique position watching the bombardment because he's watching it from just behind the British lines. But it's strange that it puts him in kind of the wrong place at the wrong time and ultimately the right place because of his perspective and what he sees and then is able to write about. So Key, being a professional lawyer but an amateur poet, he writes down his emotional reaction to what he's seen. So what he's giving us is a first-hand account of the Battle of Baltimore from his perspective. And so in those 4 verses, Key is fleshing out what he sees and feels. You know, he asks if you can see the flag. Yes. What gives proof through the night the flag is there are the bombs and rockets. And so when we think about this song, it's meant to celebrate not the flag itself, but the people who put it up and kept it up. So the defenders themselves. And even later in his life, Key attests to this and says, do not such defenders deserve a song. Those of us in the center are going to help hand this red stripe over. And you guys are going to grab the bottom and pull it out nice and taut again.
Seeing the flag unveiled is breathtaking because it brings back that feeling that we are united. We have something in common as a people. Our history is something, and that flag is something we have in common.
Over again.
To know the significance of where that came from feels really important.
So you guys just keep it nice and taut for him. You can't fold it like this without working together with at least one other person. And so it's a nice reminder that so too as a nation we don't make a great deal of progress without working together.
It's the idea that every American could see what we've been through together as a nation, how we survived to get to where we are today, because so many people I think don't realize how important unity is. We have one flag and we have one country, and we have to do everything we can, I think, to remind ourselves and rebuild any disconnection we've suffered.
The history of Arlington National Cemetery is the history of our country. You can see as you walk throughout the cemetery the struggles and the triumphs of our nation over the last 250 years. When you enter into the cemetery in person, you almost immediately see these rolling headstones, hill after hill in tight formation. That point is when you truly understand the sacrifice, the commitment of all the service members that came before them, before us, to protect and defend our way of life.
Order! Order!
On a given day, you could expect anywhere from 25 to 27 services. I'm Lieutenant Colonel Jeremy Blasek. I am the Executive Officer for Arlington National Military Cemeteries, and I am the Deputy Director for the Office of Army Cemeteries. The cemetery is just over 600 acres, and we have nearly 430,000 burials here. On average, we see 3 to 4 million visitors each year. The reverence and ceremony of Arlington National Cemetery it's paramount to everything we do here. Whether it's the military funeral honors and the caisson support at our services daily, or it's the sentinels that guard our Tomb of the Unknown Soldiers and have done so for over 100 years.
We're entrusted by the American people to protect this national shrine and to give it the proper respect that it deserves, and we're absolutely humbled to do it. I'm Captain Stolarski. I'm the commander of the guard, Tomb of the Unknown Soldier. The 3 individuals who lie in the plaza, and as well as that empty Vietnam crypt, represent so much to our nation and the world. It's a chance for families to come here and to pay tribute to their sons, daughters, fathers who had never made it home. We uphold that honor to ensure that they receive the respect that they are entitled to. There are hints of 21, which you'll see the guard while he's walking by himself out there. He's waiting 21 seconds, facing the unknowns. Then he'll turn and face down the mat, wait 21 seconds. Take 21 steps. And then he'll wait 21 seconds and then face again towards the unknowns. He'll repeat that for an hour until the change comes. We'll change the guard every hour on the hour.
Ladies and gentlemen, the ceremony that you are about to witness and the changing of the guard, in keeping with the dignity of this ceremony, it is requested that everyone remains silent and standing.
Arlington Cemetery in general is representative of America's best and finest, and it's not about us, it's about those unknowns and those individuals who gave their entire lives and identities for our country. Line 6 of our Sentinel's Creed is "My standard will remain perfection." That standard of perfection is always 1 or 2 steps ahead of us. You're constantly working on your uniform to get it as best as you can and to try to achieve that level of perfection, but there's always something that you can do to make it just a tiny bit better. In everything we do, we're striving for that standard.
Forward! March!
As tomb guards, we have this special relationship with the unknowns. We're there with them, so we are their buddies, and they put us at ease when we're out there with thousands of eyes on us. But we just want to perform as perfectly as we can for the unknowns, but also for those families who are coming there to pay tribute to the unknowns and potentially their family members who are represented.
Forward! March!
Those unknowns gave everything for us. Their sacrifice, it can't even be put into words. I look forward to the day where I can actually meet them and talk to them. I know they're looking over us and safeguarding our country as well.
To the left, you'll see the Washington Monument. Of course, we'll be...
So the Honor Flight Network is a nonprofit that takes World War II through Vietnam veterans to Washington, D.C. to see the memorials built in their honor. We travel with a lot of wheelchairs, we travel with a lot of medical, but it is our mission to get all of those veterans here.
Those World War II veterans, you know, the greatest generation, they saved the world. They absolutely deserve to be treated like the royalty. They are celebrities.
Thank you.
You are famous. Little did you know, you just had to come here.
You're welcome. Thank you so much. He's going to shake your hand.
Yes, sir.
Other hand, Michael. Other hand.
Hey, buddy.
Thank you, Jeff.
Awesome.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Appreciate
ma'am.
you, Bertie.
Thanks for your service.
Yeah. Shake your hand too, sir. Good to see you. All the best. What's your age? If I may ask.
100.
Good job.
I'm born in
Looking
1925.
25, you're looking good, sir.
You're how old?
He's 100.
I'm 100. Well, I'm just a squirt. I'm 96.
He's 96. He's a squirt.
We occupied Hitler's hideout. That's what we called it. But Eagle's Nest. You ever hear of it?
Yeah.
Well,
Were you there?
oh, yeah. Man, I've run Hitler's elevator up through the rock.
What?
I've run Hitler's elevator up through the rock.
That's an experience not everybody gets to say.
Well,
As a Vietnam vet, I got to shake your hand.
The Vietnam guys that never got their welcome home, this is a big healing process for them.
Vietnam was an experience that you had to be there to understand it.
and know what was going on. There were good times. I had some good times there, but mostly not.
Is that it?
Patrick C. Yeah. Okay. We were not treated well at all when we landed on the way home.
I think that the Vietnam Veterans Memorial is probably the most emotional for our veterans, just to have that time, to maybe see a buddy's name, a classmate's name that they haven't thought about in that 50, 60 years.
I have a couple of friends that are on the wall. They were guys that I went to high school with. Sure, it's going to be quite emotional.
You know, just a simple little piece of paper with some scrubbings on it really make a difference to the veterans to know that their buddy, their classmate, their brother, their cousin, whoever it might have been, is going to be memorialized for generations to come.
You did a good job. Thank you. A little sad. That's the best way to put it. Yeah, brings back a lot of old memories.
I would describe America as a place that I feel united to.
Just to have that sense of like liberation, to like be myself.
Just to live freely like we do.
Because of its liberty, right? Because of its freedom.
It's the place you want to be, and that's why everybody wants to be in our country.
I feel like I am patriotic in the United States of America.
This is my America. This is your America. This is our America, the United States of America.
I'm a first-generation American, and so I have the perspective of seeing parents that came to the country, they became naturalized, of seeing that process and how they worked for that, and just seeing the opportunities that they are now able to create for me and my siblings that they did not have.
I would describe the United States as a melting pot. I certainly would. I think it's so diverse that it allows everyone to have opportunities to express themselves.
If you look at the world, we're all representing different countries, like, you know, travel different places, and America's just one of those places where it's like, it's not just concentrated on one type of race or one type of people. We're all united.
It's great raising your children here. It brings a lot to the table living in a very diverse culture.
What did Forrest Gump say? Life is like a box of chocolate, you never know which one you're gonna get. That's kind of how America is.
This is your